My name is Rachel Chen and I learned the hard way that family and business don't always mix. From the moment I could walk, my grandfather's company, Chen Global Enterprises, was my second home. While other kids played with dolls, I sat in his office watching him build an empire from scratch. "Remember, little bird," he'd say, his eyes twinkling behind wire-rimmed glasses. "In business, what people see isn't always what is." At the time, I didn't understand. But those words became the most valuable lesson of my life. Growing up, I was nothing like my cousins. They flaunted their wealth, driving luxury cars to high school and bragging about their trust funds. I, on the other hand, took the bus and worked part-time at our smallest warehouse, learning the business from the ground up. "Why do you let her embarrass us like this?" my Uncle Victor would complain to Grandpa. "A Chen shouldn't be working like a common laborer." Grandpa would simply smile. "Everyone has their own path." My cousin James, Uncle Victor's eldest son, was the cruelest. "Look at the charity case," he'd sneer at family functions, mocking my simple clothes, trying to prove she's worthy of the Chen name. What none of them knew was that, since I was 12, Grandpa had been privately tutoring me in business strategy, finance, and leadership. While my cousins partied on yachts, I studied market trends and corporate governance. "Why keep it a secret?" I once asked him. He patted my hand. "Sometimes, little bird, the best way to learn who people really are is to let them underestimate you." I took his words to heart. By 25, I had an MBA and an intimate knowledge of every aspect of Chen Global Enterprises, from warehouse operations to international logistics. Then came the diagnosis. Grandpa's cancer was aggressive. Within months, he was confined to his bed in the family mansion. Suddenly, my cousins became attentive, visiting daily with exaggerated reports of their supposed contributions. "The Shanghai deal is proceeding perfectly," James would boast. But I knew, through my warehouse contacts, that shipments were consistently delayed. "The new tech division is revolutionizing everything," my cousin Victoria claimed. Yet the IT staff quietly complained about outdated systems. I visited Grandpa late at night when the mansion was quiet. We talked about real business problems, supply chain bottlenecks, employee morale, market expansion. He never showed how much pain he was in, but I could see it in his eyes. One night he held my hand tighter than usual. "Promise me something, little bird." "Anything, Grandpa. Don't let them see you coming." A week later he was gone. The funeral was a spectacle of performative grief. Uncle Victor sobbed loudly about carrying on father's legacy. James and Victoria competed to tell stories about their special bond with Grandpa. I sat quietly at the back, mourning the man who had been more father than grandfather to me. The real drama began 3 days later at the emergency board meeting. "As the new CEO," Uncle Victor announced, "my first action is to restructure the executive team. James will be CEO, Victoria CFO." I raised my hand. "Shouldn't we wait for the will reading?" Laughter erupted. "Oh honey," Victoria smirked. "This isn't kindergarten. You don't need to raise your hand, and you don't need to be here at all. This is a board meeting, not a warehouse inventory check," James added. Uncle Victor tried to sound sympathetic. "Rachel, I know father let you dabble in the business, but the company needs strong, experienced leadership. So you're firing me from my warehouse position?" I asked quietly. "Consider it a kindness," James sneered. "You're clearly not cut out for business. Maybe try dog walking." More laughter. Some board members looked uneasy but stayed silent. "All in favor of terminating Rachel Chen's employment with Chen Global Enterprises?" Uncle Victor asked. Every hand went up, except mine. "It's unanimous," he declared. "Rachel, please clear out your locker by end of day. Security will escort you." I stood. "Shouldn't we really wait for the will reading?" "It's scheduled for," I checked my watch, "right now." The door opened. Mr. Zhang, Grandpa's longtime lawyer, walked in carrying a thick envelope and a USB drive. "Perfect timing," Uncle Victor said smoothly. "We were just wrapping up." "Actually," Mr. Zhang interrupted, "this meeting is premature. The late Mr. Chen's will contain specific instructions regarding company leadership." He connected the USB to the projector. Grandpa's face appeared on screen. "Well," he began, "if you're watching this, then I'm no longer with you. And knowing my son Victor, he's probably already called a board meeting to seize control." Uncle Victor's face drained of color. Let me be clear, Grandpa continued. For the past 15 years I have been transferring company shares into a blind trust. As of my death, this trust owns 75% of Chen Global Enterprises. Its sole trustee and beneficiary is my granddaughter, Rachel. Chaos erupted. This is impossible, James shouted. It's a forgery, Victoria screeched. Uncle Victor sat frozen, pale and silent. Furthermore, Grandpa's voice carried on. Rachel has completed the executive training program I designed for my successor. She has worked in every department, learned every aspect of our business, and earned the respect of our employees at all levels. She is not just the majority shareholder. She is the new CEO of Chen Global Enterprises. Mr. Zhang paused the video and distributed the documents. These have been verified by 3 independent law firms. I stood again, smoothing my simple skirt. Now, about that restructuring. This isn't over, Uncle Victor stammered. James, I added, about the Shanghai delays. I've already spoken with our logistics team. A new tracking system launches next week. And Victoria, the IT upgrade you've been blocking? The contracts are signed. Work begins Monday. You can't do this. Victoria sputtered. We're family. Yes, I replied calmly. We are. And family should support each other, not mock and belittle. Grandpa taught me that too. The next morning I arrived at Chen Global headquarters at 6 a.m. The security team had already updated my clearance. Ted, the head of security who had known me since my warehouse days, handed me a new access card with a warm smile. About time, Miss Chen. Your grandfather would be proud. My phone buzzed nonstop with missed calls and desperate messages from relatives who had ignored me for years. Uncle Victor, this is a mistake. You're destroying our family legacy. James, you'll regret this. I have dirt on the company. Victoria, please cousin, we can work something out. Name your price. Aunt Margaret, think of your cousin's children. They were counting on their inheritances. I silenced my phone. For the first time, Chen Global Enterprises was truly in the right hands. I silenced my phone and stepped into what was now my office, Grandpa's office. Everything was exactly as he'd left it, including the small photo of us on his desk. It was taken on my first day working in the warehouse. I was 12, drowning in oversized safety gear, beaming beside him. An hour later, Mr. Zhang arrived with more documents. Your cousin's lawyers are already filing challenges to the will, he informed me. And there's something else you should see. He handed me a thick folder. Inside were records of unauthorized transactions, inflated expense reports, and suspicious overseas accounts, all tied to James, Victoria, and Uncle Victor. Grandpa knew. I asked softly. He knew everything, Mr. Zhang nodded. He was waiting to see if they'd come clean, take responsibility. They never did. How much did they steal? Conservative estimate? 20 million. Over the past 5 years. I thought of all the employees who'd been denied raises while my cousins bought new sports cars. Of the safety upgrades delayed in warehouses while Victoria renovated her vacation home. Call the forensic accountants, I said firmly. I want every penny traced. That evening, the family gathered at Uncle Victor's mansion. The one I now knew had been bought with company funds. The meeting was explosive. Be reasonable, Rachel, Uncle Victor pleaded. We can work this out. Keep the shares if you insist, but let us handle the day-to-day operations. Like you've been handling the company finances? I asked, sliding copies of the transactions across the table. The color drained from their faces. Those were approved expenses, James stammered. Really? The company paid for your gambling debts in Macau? Victoria's secret apartment in Vancouver? Uncle Victor's offshore accounts. Aunt Margaret burst into tears. Think of what this will do to our reputation. You should have thought of that before stealing from your own father's company, I replied coldly. From the employees who trusted you. What do you want? Victoria whispered. Money? A board seat. I want what Grandpa wanted. A company that operates with integrity. One that takes care of its employees and earns its success. And if we refuse to resign? Uncle Victor challenged. I stood straightening my jacket. Then the police get these files tomorrow morning. Your choice. The next day all 3 resigned, signing ironclad NDAs in exchange for avoiding criminal charges. The The condition: every stolen penny repaid with interest. The changes began immediately. We raised warehouse wages, upgraded safety equipment and modernized IT systems. Employee morale soared and productivity followed. 6 months later, Chen Global Enterprises profits had increased by 30%. Business magazines that once dismissed us as old-fashioned now praised our innovative leadership style. Then came the invitation, the Asian Business Leadership Awards. We had been nominated for Most Improved Corporate Culture. That night I wore a simple black dress as I accepted the award. At a distant table I saw Uncle Victor, James and Victoria, faces twisted with anger, regret and something close to envy. Later Victoria approached me alone. "I've been in therapy," she said quietly. I never thanked you for not pressing charges." "It wasn't for you," I replied. "It was for Grandpa. He always hoped you'd learn. The company is doing amazing things now. The education programs for employees' children, the health benefits, he would have loved that." I nodded, remembering Grandpa's words. Business is about more than profit. A year after taking control, I instituted a new tradition: Take Your Child to Work Day. Watching employees proudly show their kids around, including the warehouses, reminded me of my own journey. Uncle Victor and James still tried to stir up trouble now and then, spreading rumors and whispering to board members. But their credibility was shattered. The company's success spoke louder than their schemes. Last week I found an old notebook in Grandpa's desk. Inside, in his handwriting, were words I will never forget. "My little bird, when they see you soar, they'll understand why I taught you to fly close to the ground first. Success isn't proving others wrong. It's improving yourself. Love, Grandpa." I keep that notebook on my desk now, beside the photo of 12-year-old me in safety gear. It reminds me that true leadership isn't about power or titles. It's about responsibility, integrity, and lifting others as you rise. Next month is the company's annual charity gala. The theme, Building Future Leaders. We'll be announcing a scholarship program for employees' children who want to study business, in honor of my grandfather. Yesterday I overheard one of our longest-serving warehouse workers telling his daughter, "See that office up there? Our CEO started right here just like us. In this company, anyone can rise if they work hard and stay honest." I smiled. Grandpa would have loved that. Sometimes, late at night, I look out at the city lights from my office and think of that little girl in oversized safety gear. She didn't know she was training to be CEO. She just wanted to make her grandfather proud. On the wall hangs our latest company photo, the entire workforce, executives and janitors alike, standing together in matching company t-shirts. In the front row, I'm not standing on a platform, not dressed differently. I'm just part of the team. Because that's what Grandpa taught me. True leadership isn't standing above others. It's lifting them up to stand with you. And that lesson is worth more than any inheritance.